Okay.
So, just a little disclaimer at the header of this episode.
Oh,
We were meant to be talking about In the Mood for Love, but James has spent the past 2 weeks at Cannes, um, which is the right way to pronounce it.
well, it's funny because I got out of the airport and I was talking to the taxi man. I said, "Which way to Cannes?" And he saw, "I'm going to charge this man triple." It's as simple as that, you know. No, it's actually Cannes.
Cannes. So
Cannes.
he's been at Cannes for 2 weeks, and he came
Yeah.
back and he said, "Can we not do In the Mood for Love? Because what did you say? Your art house out of it."
Yeah, like okay. I wanted to do the mood for love. I love In the Mood for Love. I've seen it before a bunch of times, but I would have wanted to rewatch it for this and take notes and actually, do it properly. And I
Mm.
wasn't in that headspace, so I said, "Is there anything else on the slate that you
Well,
might want to bump up?"
do you love it if you need to mentally prepare yourself that much just to talk about it?
I don't want to let it down.
Oh, that's a good spin.
Thank you. Yeah,
Have you considered a career in PR?
I have actually. I've we did that. This isn't I've had offers. This isn't for on the air whatsoever. But yes, I've considered a career in PR. I'm really good also, not PR, but like, tabloid headlines.
Yeah.
I'm really good at those.
And if the listeners want a taste of that, they should just read our episode descriptions because they're
Or just
basically all tabloid headlines
or
for
just
our
watch the national
podcast.
television show that I work for where I often get like quite salacious topic lines
Do you want to plug your job, James?
onto the air. No, I don't whatsoever. I don't know how much I'm allowed to
Getting
talk
into
about it.
risky
I am
territory.
into risky territory, but I just think, tabloids get a bad rap.
You can just treat them as a form of entertainment, not news.
Yes. So I've come back from Canada. My takeaway is tabloids get a bad rap. Let's bring the class down a bit, you know?
But yeah, so today we're probably talking about the complete opposite of In the Mood for Love. On the whatever dimensional map of all movies, whatever corner In the Mood for Love is
I get
in,
you.
this is in the opposite corner.
Yeah, it's like in the mood for a shorter runtime and more
Uh,
suspense.
like you can guess by that James was not a fan, which even though,
It's
well,
just a
I don't
movie
know,
every now
this
and again.
we'll talk a lot about that, but it makes no sense to me because you liked the fucking Marvel movie that we watched last week.
Okay, look, shall we
Let's do the intro before we
let
start talking
bygones be
about the
guys?
movie.
Yeah, all right, whatever. I
Insert
mean,
intro here. Okay,
I sh are we introing or are we having this out?
I'll cut it here so we can put it in the intro.
Just cut over my bit. You always cut. You never cut over your bit. If people listen back, you never cut over your bit. You always get like the last
Okay, get your
laugh.
bit out of the way, and then we'll do the intro, and then we'll.
It's far gone now.
Oh, I mean, look, you can't give out to me if then when I give you the platform you don't use it.
You're already gonna cut all this as well. I know you.
No, this is all staying in. I think I come across really well in this, and you come across quite grumpy. So,
I've just been in France for 2 weeks. I am fucking grumpy.
hello and welcome to Love It or Slate It with Sean and James, two ex-film students who really like to talk about movies, but don't have a reason to do that anymore. So we started a podcast, except it's not our first time doing a podcast because we tried to do a podcast 2 years ago and all our episodes ran on too long. So now we have basically the same podcast, but with a 30-minute timer in the middle to keep us on track.
Do you think maybe at some point we should like script an intro? Because I was watching that and within I think 5 words, I saw the light leave your eyes and you were like, I thought you were gonna cut, but you were like, no, I'm powering through.
Powering
I'm gonna
through.
get all the information out there in this horrible like slog of word vomit. And here we are now
Gotta
at the other end.
treat it like it's live.
Everyone knows what the podcast is about. You might have died a little bit on the inside, but here we are and we're happy. Well, I'm not
Here we
happy.
are, and what are we talking about?
We're talking about, for whatever reason, the latest installation in
Well,
the.
the whatever reason is because you were too much of a coward to do In the Mood for Love.
We'll do it in the mood for love, and it'll be our best episode ever. But in the meantime, we have to do this episode.
Sure.
Am I selling this well to the listener?
Not really. It seems like a real cop out on both our parts.
Okay, I'm going to be more positive.
Okay.
This week, we're talking about Final Destination Bloodlines, the sixth installment in the Final
Yeah.
Destination franchise.
Yes.
Sean really liked this movie. James didn't like this movie so much, but that's okay too.
that is okay, and that is the basis for, I guess, ideally the basis for an episode of our podcast, right?
Yeah, should we get on with it?
Yeah, we should probably get on with it. Um, okay, fuck the timer
The timer
before
always.
I forget.
Yeah. Once again, should always script an intro, probably pre-plan a little
Timer
bit,
30 minutes
and also
starting now. James, tell us a bit about Final Destination Bloodlines. You
that's
just
so
saw it, so I feel like you'll have the real fresh plot synopsis ready to go.
that's so mean. Okay. Right. So my understanding of Final Destination before I saw this one, which is it's the first one I've seen in
Sorry, I asked you for a plot synopsis and you said my understanding.
yeah, it's just like let me
A
do the
plot
thing.
synopsis should not be that subjective.
I'm clearly teeing something up here and it's gonna have a plot synopsis in it. So can you just
Okay,
like
I'll be
you,
patient, sorry.
you said I was grumpy, you're not helping. My understanding of the Final Destination franchise before I saw this, which is the first one I've seen of the franchise, is the first one of the FD films that I
You
saw.
haven't seen any of them.
No, this is the first one.
But on a previous episode, you talked about how fantastic a premise Final Destination was.
Yeah, and like once again, I'm teeing something.
You really made it sound like you had seen it.
No, I think I thought it was a great premise, and then I realized the premise isn't as good as I thought it was. And here's why.
Go on.
I can't remember what I said in that podcast episode, so I can't defend myself, but I imagine I didn't say I'd seen it, probably. But
No, you didn't. You never explicitly said you'd seen them, but you said that it's like a brilliant premise, and you said that in a way that made it sound like you'd seen all of them.
I've seen zero. Oh, I've seen one of them now. My understanding of the Final Destination franchise was that it's about fate and destiny and the curse of death. So a certain number of people are marked for death because they evaded death in the past, and they're going to get killed in really gruesome ways over like 90 minutes. Yeah?
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is the whole premonition bullshit, where the opening scene, which is great, goes about 20 minutes, didn't actually happen. And because the really good opening kill didn't happen, a bunch of mediocre, not as good kills have to happen 50 years later.
Well, you couldn't be more wrong.
Okay, I think I'm right, like plot wise. And
Yeah, no,
a
that
woman
is
in the
the
50s
plot.
gets to go up the fake needle, it's the sky view, and she sees everyone dying, and we all think it's
Yeah.
real, and then it's not because that's, dramatically interesting. And then 50 years later, her grandkid is having nightmares about her getting blown up in a thing that didn't
Yeah.
happen. So the grandkid goes to find her, and she says, "We're all cursed because I evaded death, and now all of you are
Yeah.
going to die in order from oldest to youngest. But also sometimes we do the kids, and they go back to the adults later, and it doesn't really, whatever. Fine.
They don't do that. Oh, sorry, they do
They do,
that, but
yeah.
they kill one line. They finish one line before they start the next line.
Sure, and that's the reason they do it because that's okay, fine, whatever.
Look, there has to be some. They couldn't be following multiple branches. Well, you couldn't have a nice little neat movie where everyone in the same family dies one by one if it was following multiple branches at once.
Yes, you could. Do you know how you do that?
How?
Oldest to youngest. Three
Yeah, but
words,
if it was
simple.
doing that, it would be killing all of the families that would be affected at once.
No, oldest to youngest by family. Oldest to youngest from the person who was going to die first, the person meant to die last. Yes.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Yes.
That does make sense. Sorry.
Yeah.
Um,
I basically think that this film,
but
and
you
I
know
don't
that
know
you
if
do
this
you
is,
understand what the innovation of this movie is?
I under,
Not like I don't mean like cinematic innovation. I mean like what's different about this one from the previous five.
that it's well, it's Bloodlines, that it's ancestors,
Exactly.
that it's yeah,
None of the others have this like family tree thing going through them. It's
cool.
just all the people involved in the initial accident.
Cool. And that is
Um,
that is a change that affects absolutely nothing except the exposition scenes. Even the period stuff, they don't really play with that. There's one period scene at the start and it's great, and then it's the present day again, and it's like whatever.
I
The
think the
Bloodlines thing is purely
first catastrophe, the
yeah.
first disaster scene was the weakest in the movie, but we'll get into that once
I
we start
thought
breaking them down.
it was the only one that made me give me a reaction other than, oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, I thought the deaths were really tame, and we'll come to that as well. I have my reasoning for thinking it was all quite a little bit flat. But yeah, premise basically grandkid starts getting premonitions that she's getting dreams of her granny dying in a fire that never happened. And then all of her bloodline are being killed, not from oldest to youngest, but from oldest to youngest on the dad's on the uncle's side first, and then the mum's side. The mum
Tree
is
by tree,
estranged.
line
She
by
comes
line.
back into it. The main character is the second from the bottom of the list of dead people after her younger brother, so that's probably going to come into it. It doesn't really, but we think it's going to. Um, and then they take about in this hour 50 minutes take about an hour to realize that's happening. Then people start dying, and then she blacks out, and when she wakes up the deaths are over because who needs a climax? That's my synopsis of the
I
film.
thought the climax was fantastic.
What with the fucking thing in the lake and she's drowning and then she falls asleep and she wakes up and it's
No,
over?
sorry, yeah, that is the climax. Sorry. I didn't
You
think
mean
the
the MRI machine?
climax was. No, I mean,
The train?
spoilers alert, the way they get killed off at the very end.
Yeah, it's fine.
I thought it was really good how little they put around it. They just kind of got smashed by these big logs that fell off a train, and the
Yeah.
movie just ends instantly. There's no like warning, like build up to them getting hit by those, pretty much. Like
No.
very little like suspense, and then nothing following it.
Can we get into my first issue with it, which has to do with that, and then we can sort of come to your side of it
Can we
just because
talk a little bit
it
about the previous
segues.
movies first?
Okay. Well, okay. Well,
Because
I had a really nice segue, but all right.
fine, fine, use the segue. I mean, it doesn't really matter about the previous movies.
No, no, no. Okay. Well, my issue, and we'll come to that. And I imagine it'll thread through the whole thing. So I'll raise it now because it is my one major, my dominant problem with it, is that everyone just like goes squash, right? Everyone just
Yeah,
squishes like a blood bag. No, there's not. There's very little like bones sticking out or people's eyes falling out of their heads, whatever. When the girl gets squashed in the in the bin truck, in the garbage
yeah.
truck, I guess you would call it, whatever. Um, her
I was
body,
writing that in my notes. I've written down all the things that happen. And as I was writing
right
it, I
nuts,
wrote bin truck and I thought,
garbage
that
truck,
sounds wrong.
garbage truck. As she
But we don't
flattens,
say, what do we say? We don't say garbage truck.
we said the bin men are coming.
Yeah, but what's their truck called?
It's truck, the bin men truck. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't have. We haven't invented something because we don't need something.
I think there's a word, we're just blanking on it. And
No,
our
well,
brains have been melted by American media, so we can't
Americana.
think of well, not our native, but our second from native word for a bin truck.
So when the girl is in the back of the bin truck, yeah, and she's about to get crushed, I was thinking, oh, this will be, quote, gnarly. We're going to get some like eyes popping out, bones crunching,
Sure.
some nice sound. It looks like, when there's an AI image and they generate it to move and moves for about one
Yeah.
second and then it like just melts into like, and just flops.
Yeah.
That's what happened to her body. It just kind of like squished and like a squashy like a jelly just like
Sure.
melted down into like ooze. And I thought
It
I
was a
don't really want to
slightly
see
CGI heavy shot.
but the whole all the deaths are CGI heavy. I don't want to see people
Not
turn into
the
ooze.
lawnmower one. The lawnmower one is practical, and I've seen a video online of them shooting it.
Okay.
But it's also far easier to do practical.
It's also, I've seen lawnmower deaths before. The Sinister one is better.
Oh, in movies. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean not many in my actual life. I've seen more bin truck dilemmas than I have lawnmower face scratchers. But no, I just thought the deaths all looked, they just kind of turned into floppy ooze. And I was like, no, no. I want
No,
to see
some of
crunch.
them got me. Um, I actually thought the initial scene with it set in like what, the 60s or 70s.
On the sky view. Yeah.
The sky view, I really didn't like that because the sky view tower looked like something a little bit too sci-fi.
But it was all quite sci-fi. This was the 50s, we assume we're the 60s.
Yeah,
There was racial mixing as well, and she was pregnant before getting married, and that was good. There was like all thing. It wasn't the actual 60s.
sure,
It was a
sure,
sci-fi
but
fantasy. There were all
sure,
these
okay,
things that like if we were being a little bit real about it, that wouldn't happen. But let's not think about that. We're having fun. We're in the sky view,
okay,
right?
yeah.
That is kind of
Unless
what
we
that
want to
was.
get into this, what the weird like messages it has around that stuff is.
I don't think there is anything. I think it's just let's not worry
You
about any
think
of that.
it, yeah, okay. No, but it's literally the building itself. Obviously, they had a lot of shots to emphasize how tall it was, and I don't think it's far-fetched that there would be a building that was as tall as they said. They said it was like 300 and something feet,
Hmm.
like 100 meters. I think they were capable of building something 100 meters tall back then. What I didn't like was that the building and the elevator that like shot up it
That was fun.
felt all a little too futuristic, felt kind of Star Trek.
Okay. I mean, once again, they all shared a bathroom, so it is very
But
Star Trek. It's not real. It is fantasy, pure and simple.
okay, but a lot of the other deaths are grounded.
No, they turn into floppy ooze.
They turn into floppy ooze, but they do it in a tattoo studio or just like take while they're on a jog or while they're having a party in the garden.
Yeah.
You know, they're not like, and I get the point of
Yeah.
the first big mass death where there's a premonition is that it's a big catastrophic event. The previous movies have used the initial one was a plane crash.
Hmm.
And then I can't remember. There's five other movies I can remember: a roller coaster, a bridge, and a like a NASCAR race. And then there's one other one that I don't remember. But and while they all were like totally fucking ridiculous, they were a little bit more grounded than this
Okay.
building. Um, this just had a little too like that building looked futuristic even for now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. But I didn't care because
It looked like it was impossible. It looked like that building, the way it was structured, it just couldn't be engineered, right?
is it not kind of similar to the Needle in Seattle?
Maybe it is. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't
They achieved
I've
that.
seen like it looks like the CN Tower in Toronto or the BT Tower in
I
London.
think because it's not like one straight thing up. There's a couple of bumps on the way down. I think there's like a weight balance thing going on. I think it's fine. I'm not an architect, neither are you, but I'm pretty sure it's okay. But
You're pretty
why
sure the building that falls over in the movie was structurally sound, is what
there
you're saying.
there were extraneous circumstances.
A
And
coin.
what?
How could they have predicted a coin?
But we'll come to the fucking coin in a moment. But I think the reason why I believed the Space Needle Sky Q thing is because the bits that were ominous and threatening were the really sort of simple things that she zeroed in on, that Iris zeroed in on, which is the max capacity for the
Good
elevator.
recollection of the character names because
Thank you.
I, before this episode, looked up all the characters and I saw all the names and I was like, I had no idea they were called that.
I, I read a review on the way home, and one of the lines is like, guaranteed new fan favorite character Eric, and I was like, could be fucking anyone. Eric is the tattoo guy in
Eric
the
is the
end.
goth guy, right?
Yeah, but I was like, new fan favorite Eric is a ridiculous sentence for a fan.
But how can you have a fan favorite if he's only going to be in one movie?
Well, Scream does that a lot. They all do that. You have like the
Oh,
ones
okay.
like that's the icon. That's the one everyone like cheers when they come in when you're watching at a sleepover while you're a bit drunk. You know, that's
I thought he was the most annoying.
no, he was the best.
He
But
really wasn't.
I'm gonna finish my first point, and then I'm gonna
Sure.
let you go on about the originals for a bit and set me up on that, which is that.
I've said all I need to say about them.
But the bits that Iris focuses in on are like the weight capacity on the elevator and sort of the fidgety doors and the fact that the kid keeps throwing things over the side and it's very windy and people keep tap dancing on the glass and that glass they're all putting a lot of trust in the glass. It's all things that kind of like if you were a nervous person you'd observe even in a more normal building, but it's
Sure,
heightened because it's in a ridiculous building. But I think we're very much anchored in her very normal fears about that's reckless. Someone made the kid stop doing that. We're over the
sure.
capacity of this lift. And then when it all hits the fan, it hits the fan in a giant space UFO because why not? But and it also literally hits the fan, right?
Yes.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it does.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
fun.
very
That's
good,
all
very
funny for
good.
me. I enjoy that. And then it wasn't fucking real, so who cares? But I enjoyed it in the moment.
But I mean, there was good parts to that scene. The part with the piano was pretty funny.
Yeah, flattened like
Um,
cookies.
but I actually enjoyed the other ones because they were a bit more like unpredictable. I guess the whole point of the first one is you're seeing the things that are going to cause the accident, and they actually cause the accident. The fun part about the later ones is that you see all these things that could cause the
Yeah,
accident, and then it's something totally left of field that you weren't really paying attention to that actually
Yeah.
causes it. Yeah, so for me, that's a more fun experience.
Do you think
I
maybe? Sorry, you go ahead. I'll
I
finish.
do think there's like a 40-minute interval between the first scene and the second kill that is just way too drawn out.
I agree. I think none of the human interest stuff works at all.
You're just gonna kill them all. So why do we? And look, I get the whole thing of it makes it more impactful when you kill off these characters, but not a single audience member expects these characters to live through the movie.
It doesn't help when the writing is very clear,
They're
not really making an effort either. Like her mum's estranged, she's back. It's meant to be a sincere thing, but the writing clearly cares as little as you do. The writing is just as aware as you are that these people are going to pop. Like there's
yeah,
no genuine effort to build.
that's why there's the uh 40
Lol,
minutes building all this up is so unnecessary.
it's a slog.
Yeah.
Okay, now okay,
But I
yeah,
do think if we're talking about movies that are, this is not a great movie.
okay,
It's not an awful movie.
no,
It's
well,
a mediocre movie. And it's like Thunderbolts, right? Thunderbolts is also a mediocre movie.
Thunderbolts is better than this.
Thunderbolts is worse than this.
Thunderbolts is much better than this in like every possible respect. Thunderbolts is more violent than this.
No, it's
Genuinely,
not.
yes, it is. This isn't
It
violent.
absolutely is not.
This is not a violent movie.
Hey, you remember all the kills that happen in Thunderbolt that then turn out to just be they put people in a dark place for a
Yeah.
few hours?
Remember the kills in this are people just flatten into ooze. Okay.
Yeah,
So
how is that not violent?
it's not violent because it doesn't convince you of anything. It's as violent as a Looney Tunes cartoon. It
I
feels
feel
animated. It's not gory, it's animation.
I feel like the MRI machine one kind of
It's the
breaks your
closest.
point.
But even then, the actual like the nipple piercings tearing, that's under his
Yeah.
shirt, right? You don't actually see
So
the
your
tear.
biggest complaint was you don't see the nipple tear.
No, it's a tiny complaint. My point is even the one stunt that has actual physical violence involved, they kind of neuter it and they kind of cover it up a little bit. And I was like,
Oh,
no,
okay, okay.
sorry. If people are here to be like, oh God, no violence, show the nipple tearing off. That's my feeling of that. Like, actually go for the
Well,
gasp.
sorry, on the topic of nipples, um,
Where the
you
fuck?
you haven't seen the original five movies.
No, I haven't. So
They all have a completely gratuitous topless scene in them where
great, bring it back.
one or two girls are just
Oh,
topless for
okay.
no reason in the middle of the movie other than for, I guess, horny teenage boys.
That surprised me because this one feels incredibly tame. Like I feel this one's almost like afraid to show any kind of body whatsoever. You know, like your
Yeah,
man's tattooing is your man does tattoos, but everyone has all their clothes on. It's like it's particularly dressed up. It's all pretty clean.
sure. Look, when I'm bringing up how they did it in the past
No, it's worth
movies,
doing.
I
It's
think
worth doing.
that is a welcome omission in that scene because they always felt, creepy and awkward, and yeah, those scenes really didn't need to be in the original movies, but it was such a thing for movies of the 2000s to have just
Yeah,
random nudity. Like, who was that appealing to?
I mean, it.
Teenage boys? Is it
Yes.
were all movies of that period just made for teenage
What is the
boys?
target audience of schlock horror stabby movies we watch as sleepovers? It's teenage boys.
Okay.
Yeah. Can I put something to you? What
Yeah,
the
but do all
MRI?
these teenage boys want to like look at these like topless women together? Like what
Yeah.
at their sleep? That's a bit weird.
I'm going to refrain from saying anything here in case I feel like you're the one who has the minority experience on this, not me.
Okay. Okay.
I think. But let's not risk it because one of us is wrong.
Okay, we'll move on
No,
from
hang on.
the
Right.
horny talk.
No, we're keeping the horny talk and well, not really horny, but nudity.
Yeah.
Do you not think the MRI scene would have packed more of a punch and had more people talking if we saw his dick rip off through his pants and fly into the machine? Like we had like a POV shot of the MRI machine as the dick comes off and shoots in, right? Proper actual. Oh my God, they actually did that. They actually pushed the envelope a little bit
And
gore.
do you think it would have it like this is your train of thought here. Do you think it'd have an even bigger impact if the dick flying through the air and hit his brother and killed his brother with his dick? Like that's like sure you could make it more crazy and more explicit and more.
Yes, I think yes.
So you think if it was his pierced dick flying through the air that killed his brother, would it be
I
a
don't
better
I
movie?
don't think the dick would be like a strong enough influence to like kill the brother, but it could blind him maybe. And then he like tumbles into something else, you know? But yes, I think it was shockingly just like these ordinary people, their final moment, the next moment, they're bags of oozy blood, and there's no in between. The in between is the fun part. A finger snapping the wrong way, or someone getting their arm caught and like ripped apart in an elevator shaft or whatever. The in between part between alive and dead is what's fun about a slasher. That's my feel.
That's a,
That's my.
okay, and you feel like this. I felt like
It
the
just goes.
in-between parts where there was a lot.
Yeah, but yeah, but then once the kill starts happening, like he's not being mauled by a lawnmower for long. He's pretty instantly dead.
I get what you mean. It would have
You
been
know?
like a little bit cooler if they killed off the bin truck death. Like there was not that scene where they're chasing them down to try and stop it. It'd be quite funny if she basically just got killed off screen.
Or just like if that was like if she just like
Because they've
left the
already
house.
done the build up where she's fretting over everything she sees
Yeah,
for the guy.
yeah.
And if they just killed her and then didn't have this scene where they're chasing, trying to stop the bin truck and then just almost save her and all this stuff, it could have worked better.
No,
It would have been funnier.
here's what I would have done, right? And it's building on that. I think you're right. I would have had the same wide shot of her exiting the house, jogging down her driveway, turning the corner and jogging away. Camera stays still as she jogs into the background. Lawn wood chipper, football, hits her in the head, falls into the bin, lifts up, drops into the bin, and the truck drives off. All in a wide shot from far away. No commentary, no witnesses. She gets knocked in the
Oh,
football, falls into the bin, literally dropped in, and the truck drives away. And no one, no dialogue, no one else sees it. We just see a woman get hit in the head, fall into a bin, drop in the truck, and off it goes. That would have been so fucking funny.
that would have been good. It would have kind of derailed the movie because there would have been this weird period where they're waiting
Is she
for her
dead?
to come back from her run and they don't know if she died or not.
Yeah.
So like,
And then at the end of the movie she comes back, but she's like, ooze mostly.
how'd she come back?
She survived.
Okay, sure.
If you don't see a body, they've survived.
Okay.
Yeah.
But sorry, I was trying to explain why I think
Sorry,
this is
go, go,
better
go,
than
go, go.
Thunderbolts, and then we start talking about dicks flying off.
Yeah. Which is what this movie needed. Thunderbolts didn't need that. Thunderbolts is like fine at like the age rating it's at. Go on.
So they're both mediocre movies. This one, I feel like it does some of the things I want a mediocre movie to do. It has a non-A-list cast,
Why
right?
do you
So
want
it's
that?
because I like seeing movies where I don't recognize any of the cast, and it can be a kind of a platform for their future career.
I don't think this is a platform for anyone's group.
Why are we wasting our best actors on mediocre movies?
I think God bless her soul, the lead, Caitlin Santos-Iwana, she is never ever she's not a final girl. She didn't have the stuff. To be a final girl, you need a bit more spunk. She didn't have it.
I thought she was pretty good.
I thought she was like very like, oh
Like,
God, she's
let's
so
bear
good.
in mind the script you're dealing with here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think there was much space for her to really show off her acting chops.
no, there was. If anything, I would actually argue schlocky horror is a great place to show up your acting chops because you have to do the full range with very, very little support.
Maybe you're onto something because Sean Baker found
Mikey Madison, yeah,
Mikey Madison
or
well, no, he'd seen her in something before, but then was confirmed that she was the fit for Honora
here's a scream.
after Scream 5.
Yeah, Game 5.
Yeah. I guess you're a bigger fan of those kind of slasher horrors or
Yeah,
schlocky horrors, as you call them. So
but
you've
just
probably seen more.
the
It's
but yeah,
bizarre to me that you hadn't seen any of the previous Final
same, and it was a
Destinations.
bit of a blind spot, and I was very adamant on correcting it, and now I'm not so interested in correcting that blind spot. I think, all right, because
They're
you
all
see, tell
kind
me,
of this movie, and I was struck by how reminiscent this was of the older movies. Literally, the only thing different was they don't have the gratuitous nudity and they don't have the bloodlines. But sorry, this one doesn't have the gratuitous nudity. The previous ones don't have the bloodlines aspect.
yeah, okay,
Otherwise, they're the exact same movie.
that's fine. Yeah,
Premonition, everyone dies thereafter. they think they've figured out how to break the chain, which is either you fuck up the order for
Hmm.
some reason that stops death. He's like, okay, I didn't do it in the right order.
Oh,
I can't do it at all.
Tony Todd never mentioned that.
No, he didn't. Oh, so you're aware of his character?
Yeah.
He does mention that. He mentions that you change the order.
No, he says if you die and get resuscitated, it counts, or if you kill someone, you get their time. That's those are the two things he says. He doesn't say the third thing.
Oh, okay. So the previous movies, they always think it's about
Oh, okay. Well,
the order that you die in, and if the some person who was meant to die after you dies before you, then it stops.
that is absolute fucking bullshit.
The movie is, believe it or not, fiction, James.
Yeah, I know, but like a good rule set goes a long way in a slasher. Scream has a
Sure.
great rule set. That's the whole thing, right? It's the phone call. It's the killer is always related to one of the original group. All this kind of stuff. There's like a rule set and you follow that and it makes sense. Here it's
Okay.
like, oh, maybe it's alphabetical this time, but if I kill the person who's D and I'm C, maybe I live, maybe I don't. Maybe I should put myself, maybe I should eat a peanut bar and then resuscitate. Oh no, an MRI machine. It's nonsense.
Sure.
There's nothing to grapple with. I'm being very negative today. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You clearly didn't like this movie. You know how I felt about Thunderbolts now. Um,
We did last week.
but you're aware of Tony Todd's character then,
Yeah,
and he's been in all the movies before,
I have friends
except
who.
for the third one. But he did a voice over
Okay.
of something in the third one, and he plays a like a mortician or something in all of them, and he basically is the character that explains how it works in most of the movies.
I got that. I got that. No,
Yeah.
I have friends who like the movies, and they told me he's in all of them, and that you don't need to know any exposition going in. You can just kind of pick it up as you go along, and they're pretty simple. There's Easter eggs, whatever. They also said this is the best one, which they shouldn't have said because now I'm not going back.
God, that's it. I don't know if it's the best one. I thought I was like, I don't know. This type of movie is something I feel like we're lacking these days. Like in the mediocre movie space, we have a lot of superhero movies, and we just don't have like this feels like a very much a naughties movie.
I think Blumhouse have a lot of these kind of things coming out
No, Blumhouse is different. There's something just doesn't
a little bit.
this does something different. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's something that we I feel like has been very much left behind in the 2000s. So it's kind of maybe it's just novel to get a movie like this in 2025. And maybe if I got more of these, I'd be kind of complaining as to why we're getting so many movies like
Okay,
this.
okay.
I don't
You
know.
see, it's schlock. It's definitely a more violent kind. It's more probably my appetite for schlock. Did you see Terrifier 3?
I was going to talk about this, and we have 2 minutes left.
Go for
Let's
it.
talk about
You take it.
Terrifier. I've
Go.
watched Terrifier 1,
Okay.
I've watched Terrifier 2, and I recently watched the first like 10 minutes of Terrifier 3. I have one issue with all the Terrifier movies. They're way too fucking long.
Yeah, no, Terrifier 3 is long, but it's also Terrifier 3 is the one where there is sufficient violence like throughout.
Okay.
It's structured around there's a lot of kills in Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
A lot more kills than in this movie, and it's only half an hour longer.
For me, part of what made, and I think Terrifier 1, this is usually a movie I wouldn't really give out about, but Terrifier is so popular that I feel like it's okay to give out about it a little bit.
Yeah.
Terrifier 1, I initially saw, before I saw the movie, I saw a clip on like Instagram Reels or something, which was in, when he's there in the pizza shop
Hmm.
and he's like sitting across and he's like smiling at her or
He's
something.
miming, right? He's doing
Yeah,
his old shtick. Yeah.
that whole thing was really tense. That scene is great,
Yeah.
but I almost think him going around terrorizing people, doing that like kind of stuff in public. In the second movie, I think he does it in a costume store.
Yeah.
Those scenes are the best parts of Terrifier, you know, and I feel like those build-ups are necessary for the violence at the end.
I
But I
agree.
felt like as the movies went on, there was less build-up and more him just going in and murdering a load of people.
No, the third one is built up. But you saw the first 10 minutes. You saw the child, how he invades
In
the home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not build-up. I mean, the build-up, the scary thing about the build-up in Terrifier is when he's doing this stuff in public.
Oh, sorry. There's a scene in Terrifier. Watch it. There's a scene in a bar. We have a bunch of old drunks on Christmas Eve, and he walks in and joins them, and they have like it's a very, very long time before anyone dies, and then a lot of deaths happen in rapid succession.
Okay.
Because one of the
So
guys is
you're
a
saying
drunk.
Terrifier 3 is what worth the watch?
Terrifier 3 is great. It's
I really I
they're
wanted to enjoy the
juve.
Terrifier movies that I've seen more
Watch
than I did.
Terrifier 3 is the one. It's juvenile, it's grotesque, it's probably quite backwards. I'd say probably a little bit misogynistically coded, but that is the the naughties trash horror shtick that you're asking for here with Final Destination, I think.
There's our timer.
Sorry. I don't know where we'd ended it there. What's our wrap up
We
point?
ended on the wrong movie.
Yeah, I think
But a relevant point
I'm
of
gonna be honest,
uh,
I really feel like I came to life talking about Terrifier 3. Maybe we should just start it
you
there.
did, yeah, you seemed very
I
happy to be
love those
talking about
movies.
that.
Yeah.
Whereas I felt that those movies never quite I don't know, the violence in them never impacted me as much as I was expecting it to.
See, to me, those ones, I don't know.
I think there might be a censored version and an uncensored version though.
Oh, really?
Because I've heard people talk about how violent and stuff those movies are. And whatever I've seen just didn't seem to quite live up to how they were making it sound.
No, Terrifier 3 is
To the
definitely
point that I
like,
think
oh,
Final Destination was potentially more impactful in its violence than the first two Terrifiers.
see, I just like when violence has a slightly more, when violent movies have a slightly more sadistic streak to them, like a slightly more mean-spirited. Final
Are you,
Destination
are you
feels,
sure that's like a quote you want taken out of
yeah, it is
context?
absolutely. Final Destination feels a little bit too checklisty to me. It's not a malicious force tormenting. It's more just, I don't know. It's kind of
I mean,
perfunctory
it
a little
quite
bit.
literally is a
I know, but
malicious
it feels
force
quite
tormenting.
perfunctory. It feels like this is the scene where this one dies, and now that means this one's the next one to die in this next scene, and all the deaths are just like impossible to predict, random coincidence after coincidence, convoluted sequences that end with something falling on someone or whatever. It all just feels a little bit too um
I think
assembled.
you're too sin illiterate.
Maybe,
I think you've seen too many movies and you know this genre too well.
maybe I just find it very
But can you
assembled.
imagine if it was 2001 and you were 3 years
It's not.
old?
It's not, Sean. There's 2025. I demand
And you
more.
got, well, wait, when did the first one come out? Maybe it wasn't 2001, but it was in the 2000. The first one was 2000. So imagine you were 2 years old at the cinema and you had never seen
A
uh,
film.
a film like this.
A film.
Yeah. And you saw it and you didn't know what you were getting into,
Hmm.
and then it unfolded like this. That would be pretty impactful.
Yeah. I think
So
I'd still probably. Meh.
you'd still be like, I wish this violence was more sadistic.
Yeah, I had the same note about the fight scene in Shrek in 2002 when I was 4. I had issues with that as well. I thought just like a little bit like he smashed his head into the barrel, smash it a couple more times, like really go for it, like waterboard that fucker. That was my thoughts on Shrek in 2002. Um, no, maybe I'm the problem.
I don't know. I think, look, I'm not going to get too upset about you not liking this movie. It's not a hill that I'm going to die on. Um, but I don't know. I think for all the mediocre movies we have, I wish we had more that weren't based on adaptations.
Yeah.
Um, and I wish we had more that didn't have A-list casts.
No, I agree. We should have more films that are the sixth than an ongoing franchise.
But it's coming
I know,
so
I know,
late after the last one that like
I know.
15 years after the last one, I think it's basically not a
What's
franchise
your
movie.
favorite horror franchise? I was going to do
Oh,
what's your
you've
scary
asked me
movie, but
this question before,
have
right?
I?
You've asked me what my favorite horror movie is,
No,
and
no, no,
actually, I
yeah,
was
no,
meant
no.
to tell you on this episode, but I've totally forgot. I did not. No, I was
But
meant
we're
to
not doing
tell
that.
you
We're
like
doing
top. Sure,
franchise is different because franchise is like the Paranormal Activity is good. The franchise is bad because the idea doesn't actually continue across 6 movies, right? But what's
sure.
the one that like Halloween, Texas Chainsaw, Elm
I haven't
Street?
seen. I really want to see the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Um, I don't know. I don't think there is a horror franchise that stands out above of the rest for me.
Okay,
I
so
haven't seen Scream. We've been over that
I
before.
was gonna say we'll watch Scream at some point
I've seen at
together.
least two of the Insidious movies.
Okay, so we'll say Insidious is your favorite horror franchise.
Sure, why not?
Big Patrick Wilson
No,
guy, are
I've
you?
seen The Conjuring. I've seen The Conjuring and
Also,
the
Patrick
second
Wilson.
Conjuring.
Yeah, James Wan.
Um, yeah.
Okay,
So there you
the
go.
the James Waniverse. That that's your cup of tea.
But I do think if we're gonna go about like the schlocky horror movies, I do think the Final Destination movies are kind of
Crazy,
hmm?
crazy to me. Sorry.
But they're so stupid. But
Yeah.
they're a great movie if you're like doing a movie night with friends or something and you want to watch something a little bit stupid but quite fun.
Hmm.
Did you see it alone or with friends?
I saw it for this podcast.
So alone.
Well, quite well, like a little bit jet lagged and a little bit tired.
Sure. So
Like,
alone.
yeah, no, I was by myself,
Yeah, I
but I was
think it's
friend.
a movie that lends itself to being seen by a group.
Okay, but that's a pretty harsh note to end on. So basically, you're saying you're fine. I didn't like it, but maybe I should get friends.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same message as Thunderbolts, really, isn't it?
Thunderbolts was somehow nicer about it. So Sean, I'm
So
gonna, I'm
James,
gonna ask the question, and you're not gonna have an answer because I don't fucking know anymore. What are we talking about next week?
I think we're going to talk about Mission Impossible.
So
It'll be either In the Mood for
in the
Love
mood for
or
lunch is
Mission
not happening.
Impossible.
Okay.
No, it will happen. And I've watched two more of his movies in anticipation.
It's gonna be a big
Um,
episode when it happens.
yeah, but actually, after watching two extra movies, my biggest takeaway was like, I need to watch all his movies to feel prepared to talk about this.
Okay.
So either we do one where I feel a bit insecure about my opinions, or we wait way too long.
Okay.
I think we do one where, I haven't seen all of his
I might try.
movies.
I might do a binge this week. I mean, I'm working and I've got shit of stuff to do, but I'll give it a go.
I don't think you're going to be able
No,
to
I will.
do
No, I
it.
will. I'm not gonna watch this fucking TV show. Watch the rest of it.
Sure,
In the
sure.
meantime, we're talking about Mission Impossible.
Yeah, Fallout or something.
No,
No, no.
no.
Final Reckoning, dead,
You had
dead drop? No. What's a dead drop?
it's not a Mission Impossible title.
Okay, but what is a dead
Mission
drop?
Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Yeah, what is a dead drop
Why
though?
are
Is
you
that a
asking?
thing?
Why are you asking what a dead drop is?
Is that a drugs related term?
I think we can't talk about it on the podcast. No, it's just an espionage one in general. It's not specifically drugs. It's all, funnily enough, maybe it fits the bill for a Mission Impossible film, though Ethan Hunt would not be seen dead doing a dead drop. He's of a much higher
He's
caliber
the
spy.
goody.
They have
I'm a
masks.
little bit excited because we haven't finished it, but we started watching the first Mission Impossible.
Great movie.
I had no idea it was a Brian De Palma movie.
Yeah, it's good. It's really good.
That's crazy.
Actually, here we go. You've watched a bit of it.
Yeah,
How far did you get?
like the opening scene.
So you solved the deaths.
Yeah, the elevator death and all
Yeah,
that.
much better than Final Destination. Much better. Like five or six horrific deaths, all in a really quick span of time, and all of them feel more organic and more violent and more gruesome than Mission Final Destination.
So
Mission
you're saying that
Impossible is, and I'm going to finish the sentence, the greatest movie franchise of all time.
what a note to end on.
Yeah,
Well, let's see if we agree or disagree on that next week.
I've woken up now. Thanks, Sean. It only took 35 minutes.
You've woken up just as we're ending the podcast.
Yeah, it's something about that Terrifier, Tom Cruise, machismo thing gets me going. Okay,
Okay, I think we'll leave it there. Bye. See you next week for either
bye.
In the Mood for Love or Mission Impossible. Probably Mission
Maybe
Impossible.
Terrifier 3?
Potentially, but I'm going to be hating on it, I think.
Ah, okay. Well, that's not. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.